All right, time for the inevitable vocabulary lesson, because whether we like it or not, statistics does have some key terms that are important to know right off the bat since you're going to see them referenced all across the course. So let's talk about populations and samples. Now, a population contains all the data that you're interested in to make your decision. In other words, it's the data that you wish you had, but are most likely unable to get. And any figure that summarizes a population is called a parameter. Now, to put this into context with an example, imagine that you own a pizza place and you need to know how many dough balls to make every day. Well, in that scenario, the data that you'd be interested in is the number of pizza sales that you'll have every single day. That's your population. And then the parameter could be something like the average number of pizza sales per day. But here's the problem. Do you know how many pizzas you're going to sell every day? Of course not. I mean, how can you if the day hasn't even happened yet? Which brings us to the next term. A sample contains some of the data from that population. In other words, it's the data that you do have, which should ideally represent the population, but that's a whole other conversation outside the scope of this course. And any figure that summarizes a sample is called a statistic. So if we go back to our pizza example, then the number of pizzas that we've sold every day in the past could be our sample, and the statistic would be the average number of pizzas that we've sold every day. And here's the important part. Statistics lets you make reasonable estimates about population parameters using sample statistics. In other words, we can use statistics to look beyond the past sales data that we have and make educated guesses about the future sales data that we don't have about the whole population. And before this starts to feel like magic, I do want to call out that statistics can't create certainty out of uncertainty. All it does is provide the framework that helps you make controlled decisions under that uncertainty. Which is still pretty cool if you ask me.